Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at AI and robotics and how fast things are developing.
It really is incredible.
It's like we're watching science fiction become reality. And to help us sort through it all, we've got some pretty interesting excerpts from articles and videos.
Yeah, we'll be looking at everything from these hyper-realistic androids to
AI reaching like superhuman levels of thinking.
it's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
So let's just dive right in. One of the sources we found talks about this Polish company, Clone Robotics. They've created something called the Protoclone V1.
It's being called the world's first bipedal musculoskeletal android.
And it's supposed to be like incredibly realistic, especially in the way that it moves.
Yeah, they're using these things called artificial muscles and bones so the robot can move really fluidly, unlike anything we've seen before.
It's like straight out of Westworld.
Right.
And it's not just Clone Robotics doing this either. There are other companies like 1X. They're focusing on robots for more everyday tasks, but they're giving them this softer, more friendly appearance.
More approachable.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, of course, you can't forget about Tesla,
Oh, yeah.
with Elon Musk pushing hard to develop humanoid robots.
Of course.
And the tech is just getting more and more sophisticated, even to the point where there are companies that are creating these hyper-realistic masks now.
Really?
Yeah, so you could put these on the robots and they would be
Oh, wow.
even harder to tell apart from a real human.
It really makes you wonder what it'll be like interacting with these machines in the future.
Right. What is real, what isn't?
Well, that's a whole other conversation for another time.
Definitely.
But let's shift gears for a minute and talk about AI itself, because one of the sources we have goes into this new development from Google called mixture of depths. Mod, yeah.
It's a fascinating development because it changes how AI actually processes information.
So instead of looking at everything equally, it focuses on what's important and skips over the less relevant stuff.
Exactly. It's like cutting through all the noise and getting right to the point.
So it's way faster than...
Much faster than previous models, and some experts think that this kind of selective processing could be the key to AI reaching superhuman levels of thinking.
Superhuman. Okay. So what does that even look like?
Well, imagine an AI that can just process information and solve problems so much faster than any human. It could be making these groundbreaking discoveries left and right.
In like medicine or science?
All kinds of fields.
But wouldn't that also raise questions about control and safety? I mean, if we create something that's much smarter than us, how do we make sure it doesn't become a threat?
Yeah, that's a big concern. We'll get into that more next time, including some pretty strong warnings from Elon Musk about the potential dangers of AI.
Okay, yeah, this is where things start to get really interesting. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back to explore the ethical considerations and potential risks of this rapidly evolving technology after a quick break. Okay, so we've got these robots that are starting to look and move like real people.
Yeah, and then the AI itself.
That could be about to, like, outsmart us.
It's a wild time.
It really is, and that brings up the big question that's kind of woven through all these sources. Is it safe?
Well, that's what we have to figure out, right?
Yeah.
And one of the articles we have highlights some pretty serious warnings from Elon Musk. He's not exactly shy about his opinions.
Yeah, he's been pretty vocal about AI being a potential threat, even comparing it to things like nuclear weapons.
Right, and that's a pretty heavy comparison.
Yeah, so what exactly is he so worried about?
His main concern is that if we're not super careful, we could end up creating an AI that becomes so powerful and intelligent that we lose control.
Oh, so it's like that classic genie in a bottle scenario.
Exactly. Once it's out, there's no putting it back.
Okay, so this isn't just like a Hollywood robot uprising we're talking about.
Not necessarily.
It's more about losing control of something we've created.
It's about the unintended consequences.
Yeah.
And it's not just Musk who's worried about this. A lot of the sources we looked at mention this potential for misuse. You know, AI getting into the wrong hands, being used for surveillance or propaganda, or even worse.
That is a chilling thought.
Yeah.
And then one source even talked about AI potentially accessing human thoughts and memories.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy, right? But
Is that even possible?
Well, it might seem far-fetched, but the research into brain-computer interfaces is moving incredibly fast. Have you seen what Elon Musk's company Neuralink is doing with those brain implants?
Yeah, they're working on tech that could actually let humans merge with AI, right?
Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff, and it could be incredibly beneficial for treating things like paralysis or even boosting cognitive abilities, but it also brings up these huge ethical questions.
Like privacy.
Yeah, if AI can just tap into our thoughts, what does that even mean for being human anymore?
We're talking like a whole new definition of human then.
Exactly. And it feels like all this incredible potential is coming with some really big risks that we need to be thinking about right now.
We can't wait till it's too late.
Absolutely. And it's not just about coming up with some technical safeguards. It's about having this bigger conversation about what we want the future to look like.
Like, what are our values? What are our goals?
Exactly. How do we make sure AI is used to help humanity, not exploit it?
It feels like everyone needs to be part of that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The researchers, the tech companies, the everyday people.
Absolutely. We all have a stake in this. And, things get a little strange because the sources we looked at also bring up some pretty interesting events that are happening right now that are making people raise an eyebrow, especially in the tech world.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's going on?
Well, for one, Jeff Bezos has been building this giant clock in West Texas, like deep inside this mountain.
A clock.
Yeah, it's meant to run for 10,000 years. It's supposed to be like a symbol of long-term thinking.
10,000 years.
I
Okay.
mean, it's pretty ambitious.
That's longer than human civilization.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the future. But here's the thing. This clock seems to be connected to this thing called Project Stargate, which is this huge AI initiative that's also happening in Texas.
Hold on. So we've got a giant clock and a secret AI project in Texas.
Yeah, it's all very mysterious.
What is going on?
Well, Project Stargate is a massive undertaking. We're talking about a $500 billion project with companies like SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle involved.
$500 billion. That's more than some countries' entire economies.
Yeah, it's huge, and they're being really secretive about it, but there are rumors that it's one of the most ambitious AI projects ever attempted.
So, of course, people are going to speculate.
Right. Some people think this is a sign that these tech companies are onto something really big, something that could completely change the world as we know it.
And some are more suspicious.
Right. They think this is all about power. A small group of billionaires controlling technology that could impact all of humanity.
Right, like who's really in control here?
Exactly. And one source even pointed out that the city where Project Stargate is located, Abilene, used to be the site of that massive superconducting super collider project back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, the one that got shut down.
Yeah.
So this area of Texas has a history of these huge, ambitious scientific projects.
It does. And to add to the intrigue, there have been some weird things happening in Abilene lately.
Like what?
Well, there's been a series of earthquakes, and people are wondering if it's connected to whatever's going on with Project Stargate.
Oh, wow.
It's all very hush-hush, but it's definitely raising eyebrows.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel a little like the X-Files.
Right.
So what does this all mean? Is there a connection between these weird things happening in Texas and these bigger concerns about AI safety and control?
That's the question, isn't it? It's hard to say for sure what's going on, but it definitely highlights how important transparency and accountability are when you're dealing with these powerful technologies.
We can't just blindly trust that these companies have our best interests at heart.
Exactly. We need to ask tough questions and demand some answers.
Because this isn't just about some abstract technology. This is about the kind of world we want to live in.
It's about our values, our hopes, our fears.
Like, who are we as humans and what are we becoming?
Right. And as we move into this unknown territory, we can't lose sight of our humanity.
We can't just let fear or apathy paralyze us. We have to be proactive, informed, and engaged.
Absolutely. We have to shape the future, not just react to it.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we're standing on the edge of something massive here.
It really does feel that way, doesn't it? Like we're at this point where everything could change.
Yeah, with AI and robotics advancing so fast, it feels like we're about to enter a whole new world.
It's a true paradigm shift. And with every big shift, there's always that mix of excitement and,
A little bit of fear.
yeah, trepidation.
Trepidation. Yeah, exactly.
But the important thing is that we go into it with our eyes wide open.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we make sure all this incredible technology is used responsibly, for good?
Well, I think step one is we have to keep learning.
Like, the more we understand about AI and robotics,
Yeah.
the better we'll be able to handle whatever comes next.
Exactly. And that means not just taking things at face value.
Doing our own research.
Yeah, asking questions, being critical, seeking out different perspectives. There are so many resources out there now. Books, articles,
Yeah.
documentaries.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah, so much information available to anyone who wants to learn more.
And it's not just about, like, absorbing information either, right? It's about actually talking about this stuff.
Absolutely. It's about having conversations with friends, family.
Sharing what we're learning.
Yeah, raising awareness, getting people to think critically about this technology. The more we can do that, the better.
So it's like a collective responsibility then.
I like that it's not just about what one person does. It's about all of us working together to make sure this technology is used ethically, benefits everyone.
And if someone really wants to get involved, aren't there organizations out there doing work on this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are groups specifically focused on responsible AI development.
Perfect. We'll link to some of those in the show notes.
Yeah, and don't forget about reaching out to your elected officials.
Yeah.
Let them know that you care about this stuff, that you want them to prioritize ethics when it comes to AI.
Because in the end of the day, this isn't just about some technology that's way over our heads. It's
Mm.
about our future.
It's about the world we want to live in, our values, what we believe in.
It's about what makes us human.
And as we go deeper into this uncharted territory, we can't lose sight of that.
We can't just let fear or apathy win. We have to
Yeah.
stay proactive, informed, and engaged.
We have to be the ones shaping the future, not the other way around.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I want to encourage everyone listening to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep the conversation going.
Yeah, the future of AI and robotics is still being written, and we all have a part to play in shaping that story.
So dive in, get informed, and be the change you want to see.
And until next time, keep exploring.